So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys. Fabulous viewers, I'm so blessed to be here. I'm so glad you found me if you're new to this channel. And especially for those of you guys returning, I'm so grateful and I'm so blessed to be here. I can't wait to get into your reading and take a look at what Spirit wants to communicate with you guys today. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading, we'll be taking a look at your understanding of something, maybe your current situation, maybe something that you're planning or something that has transpired, and what is the reality? What is the truth? Okay, so it's the honest truth of a situation or an understanding that you might have, whatever Spirit wants to pull through. It could be confirmation, reinforcing that you do know the truth. It could be revealing something that might be hidden from you in regards to the way you're interpreting the truth. Okay, so our perception is one understanding, and then there is the objective truth in regards to what reality is. So this would require us to be have some humility. Okay, now this doesn't mean get all super confused in your intuition, what is real, what is not. Okay, if you're still developing your intuition, I don't want to throw you all in a tizzy. Okay, your intuition is going to know what's real. All right, so use your intuition above all things. Okay, but this reading is to provide clarity, and sometimes it's very difficult for us to see beyond our own shadow, our own beliefs, especially if we have a strong conviction. That's not me. That's not my reading. Meanwhile, it's your reading, and the messaging was for you. But we don't want to take it because we either don't want to see it, we don't want to admit it, we don't want to heal it, we try to protect our wounds at all costs. Okay, so whatever this is, I don't know what it's about. It could be very practical. It could be very deep. It could be very spiritual. It could be you forgot eggs at the grocery store. I don't know what this is, okay? But I do know that I'm going to deliver the messaging exactly as I see it. And I do know that this isn't for every single person. This is a wide range of people that come through here, okay? So this is whoever needs to hear this message. I will do an energy check through the card layout. The card layout should give you some insight whether it's your reading or not. So I do ask that you come up with what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether this pile, the messaging, is for you. If it's not your pile, go check out another pile. No need to say this reading doesn't resonate and we missed the other piles. So we're going to do a pick a card. I'll get into your options shortly. These are the decks I'll be using for this reading. For those of you guys interested, I will put a link right here to the tarot deck flip throughs or the oracle card flip throughs. Most of these are there for those of you guys who are interested in that. All right, so I will put the timestamp below. You guys can skip to whichever part you want to get into, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, gorgeous angels. Let's pull the three piles, okay? Now, pay no mind to the word itself, okay? Don't take the word literally here. This is the Blind Spot Oracle. We're just going to be channeling energy with pre-shuffled oracle cards that I've not looked at to read the energy in the pile, okay? So this is a pick a card. These are the three options. If at any point you're called to any one of these three, which I'll be revealing shortly, then go ahead and click on it. 1, 2, 3, okay? We'll reveal them in a bit, but use your intuition to pull you towards whichever one feels right so that you can develop your intuition, okay? So pile number 1, others see it, you don't, 42. Option number 3, the bubble, 27. You guys can see that? Option, did I say 3? Sorry, I don't know if I did. 1, 2. Option number 3, you have superiority with 60. Okay, so these are the three energies. Like I said, don't read too much into the word, okay, itself. It will be the energy of the pile, and it's okay to not have a reading. But like I said, we have to be completely humble enough to see what it is we're not wanting to see. Otherwise, we're just wanting to reinforce our own beliefs, which don't do us any good, especially if they're inaccurate or not based in reality. Okay, so beautiful angels, these are the piles. I'll move this here, and when you're ready, select from the timestamp down below, and I will see you at your pick. All right, gorgeous angels. Pile 1, others see it and you don't, 42. Wow, what could this be? Okay, so that's the number 6. So we're getting some Capricorn and some Gemini energy here. Okay, take that as a confirmation if you are looking for some. Okay, that's not for everyone. Doesn't have to be your sun or moon or prominent in your birth chart, but it is confirmation for someone. It gives me energy here so I can channel. Okay, and what we're channeling is what it is that you're understanding under one understanding, okay, your perception, and what is the absolute truth of this thing or what's going on. Okay, are we completely in some other land thinking something completely different, or are we in line with reality and truth? This will clarify whatever you're needing to clarify or support and confirm whatever maybe you're needing support and confirm for. But apparently this says others see it and you don't. So we'll see. How does this play into effect? Okay, I will ask you to work with the divine in order to use your intuition to know whether this is your reading or not. This isn't read to create suffering, confusion, cloudiness. This is to provide healing and clarity. If you're not clear after my readings and you're more confused, then it probably either wasn't your pile or it's really pushing you outside of your comfort zone to stretch. Okay, so just come here when you're ready to stretch. All right. Pile 1, we have reaction. Wow. Okay. And she's holding the lotus. There's 3 lotuses. Lotus flowers grow in real harsh environments, but they're absolutely beautiful. Okay, like they have shitty environments, meaning the nutrients that they need, but somehow they're still very beautiful. They're very hardy. This person is holding their chest, and it looks like they're crying almost. Okay, so painful situation. So we have gratitude. So the trigger statement is, I am overwhelmed. People definitely do this when they're overwhelmed. True statement, I am moving. Okay, with lime. The time for planning is complete. Take action, no matter how small. Begin today. All right. And then we have hyper creativity. Accept one's emotions. Existing by oneself. Originality. Resourceful. Standing out. Self-knowledge. Type 2, the helper emotional center between giving and receiving with integration. Number 83, 2 and 4. This is root chakra energy with the red. Okay, 2 is Pisces, Libra energy, and we have some Scorpio and some Aries with 2 and 4. 2s are all about balance, duality, choices. 4 is all about structure, foundations, planning, stability. Could be stagnancy. Okay, it's also material reality and problem solving. Yeah. And then we have in control, 26 and 8. 8 is all about movement, change, and attainment. Okay, 8 is about authority, manifestation, business, and leadership. Okay, it's about advancement and goals. So in control, uncontrolled anger, authoritarianism, personal justice, conflict tendency, fear of vulnerability, rejection of weakness. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. I saw 8 pentacles in my mind's eye in reverse, which sometimes means, what is that? When we have, why do I always forget what this is called? It's, you know, when we tell ourselves we're not that, but we are. What is that called again? I forget what it's called. It'll come to me. Okay, so 6, caution. So we have 2 6s here. 6 is a master number. Service is a source of joy in which one pours from an overflowing cup, not martyrdom. We have the symbol of Mercury, yes, and a Virgo with caution. So some more Gemini, some more Capricorn, some Virgo. Okay, and then we have being successful, all-consuming ambitions, lack of authenticity, falsehood, workaholic, competitiveness, and appearances valuation. 3 is Taurus, Libra energy, divine empress energy. 3s are all about growth, relationships, initial success. I'm seeing 3 pentacle and 8 pentacle. This seems very work-related or very material-related. Okay, type 3, the achiever, emotional center between appearing and authenticity, veil of ignorance. And we have the humpback whale. Okay, let's do the tarot and then we'll start to channel your reading. Spirits for pile 1. What is their understanding versus what the reality is of their situation or what it is that they're believing? Can we get the truth? Can we clarify the perception or the belief pile one has that might be hindering them, slowing them down, or inaccurate for pile number one? Thank you, Spirit. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile one. Thank you so much, pile one, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. The bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles. I was going to say, it has the Queen of Pentacles. Some more Pentacle energy here. Okay, Earth energy, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Under the Queen Pentacle, we have the Moon in reverse. Cancer energy. Okay. And then we have the Four Swords in reverse. And we have the Prince of Pentacles in reverse. It's the Knight of Pentacles. Lots of Pentacle. Five Swords. And the Star, Aquarius energy. Okay, and then we have the Wheel. Wow. And under the Wheel, we have the Empress in reverse. We were feeling that with the number 3, Taurus, Libra energy. She is in reverse. Okay, let me sit here with this energy. What's under the Moon, though? 6 Cups. Okay, let me leave that like that. Give me a second to channel what this is. You guys can go skip ahead. I will put a timestamp so you don't have to sit here in the silence. Okay, pile number 1. I was trying to think of the word that this is giving off, and I can't think of it for the life of me. Spirit will most likely give it to me throughout this reading, but I'm going to explain it, okay? You have a skill, a talent, a dream, a vision since you've been little, okay? Even if you don't know exactly what this thing is, you'd know because there's a feeling here that you have. That is for sure. For everyone who's tapped into this pile, that will resonate with this pile. There's a dream, a vision, something that's pulling at you, that's requiring you to take action and go do this thing. But we have an understanding that is keeping us inactive or not aligning with this thing. No matter how much we want it, the fear is louder, or the doubt, self-doubt in this thing, you know? It's like I feel not confident enough in my ability or my skill or my talent or what I need for this thing, the success of this thing. And so we're having to work through what is real and what's not real. Like, what's a real legitimate constraint here that doesn't allow us to take movement towards this direction? I feel like we're overly cautious. I feel like we're overly hesitant. I feel like we're getting in our own way. And I feel like we're sabotaging our own dreams by these sort of beliefs that we're holding. And these could definitely be other people's things that they told us that we started to believe, you know? Either it's a parental voice, the inner critic, I don't know, but it's maybe people around you that are trying to keep you in place, you know? And so maybe you say something like, I always kind of wanted to do that, or put out your feeler in some way. And maybe you don't have people there supporting you that say, wow, that's a beautiful idea. Or I always could see this creative side of you to pull this off or something. But maybe, you know, they want to keep you small, or maybe they want to keep you in that job. So maybe the people at your work are like, no, well, you're not there yet, or you're not developed yet, you know? Or just, no, you're not made for that creative pursuit, or being a businesswoman. You're more like supposed to be at home with babies. That's just an example. Okay, or we could hold this belief. Okay, these are examples. This isn't your exact situation, but apply it to your situation. It's like, I always had the belief that when you have children, you devote yourself, commit yourself completely 100%, no matter what, even if you're miserable, even if you miss all of your opportunity to support that child, and limit yourself, because limiting yourself shows that you care, or that you're there in some way above and beyond everything else, sort of like a martyr here. But no one learns from that. There's no learning of growth here. And so even though there's a middle way, Okay, there's not, oh, child, I had you and now I'm selfish and I'm going to just put you up for adoption because, okay, well, that's extreme. There's a way here to figure it out, but the belief here is so strong in the idea of what has to be, that's what I have to do or be. And it's like, no, you don't have to be or do that because you're taking the short end of the deal, which limits you and doesn't allow you to pursue this calling. And this thing is really destined for you. And I feel is really calling to your inner child and would make you emotionally very happy. But I feel like it's deeper than this thing, because other than just this belief, the inner critic or the mind or the people around us that are just sort of keeping us low or whatever, if we had a stronger inner world, okay, inner world meaning develop sense of strength, confidence, purpose, and knowing our truest core of empowerment and this inner strength that has to be cultivated only from within. If we had this, it wouldn't matter what people would say. It wouldn't matter the voice in my head. I would go and prove it to be inaccurate, because the truth would be what I would step in line with, no matter how uncomfortable. It's like this Empress is going to stand in truth. She's going to be empowered enough to be strong and confident to speak, walk, talk, do everything she needs to do for the greatest and highest good of love. And love would include making myself emotionally fulfilled and happy. And when I do this, it's the greater good of all, and all becomes abundant. My children, my family. I'm not from a place of lack and scarcity. There's a belief here in being less than or not deserving of, underneath all of this stuff, okay? Whether we know we have it or not. And we could really dress this up with a confident guise, because this energy could be very hard to miss. We could think, yeah, like I'm successful. I'm not thinking that I'm not worthy of this. I have a good job or whatever. But really, when you strip that job or that identity away, what's left? It's like, whoa, I don't know who I am without that. The thing that we're actually like thinking we are is the thing that's creating the suffering or the limitation, because we're believing that by being the mother here or the employee there or the wife here or the job I have, it's creating this grand purpose. And to go against it would mean that I would be doing a disservice. No, that's an untruth. Okay. And it's driven from your real underlying thing that you don't think you're worthy of that or good enough of that. And so you created another identity that protects you from having to stretch yourself. Okay. And why do we do these things? Because to be in our fullest potential is the biggest, scariest thing of all. It's easy to play small. It's easy to be safe and sort of do the thing everyone else sort of wants us to do and be. It doesn't really call for us to put us outside this discomfort and stand for ourselves and our voice and be confident and awkward and like being our own advocate. When we first start to do it, it makes us feel like maybe I'm being selfish, or maybe I don't know how to do this thing, And we try to quiet it and make it small. It's like, no, that doesn't mean that we're selfish. Quieting that thing is like aligning to choose the untruth or the identity that we're putting to protect us having to stretch ourselves to our greatest potential. And there is a dream, a vision of something. I do feel it's either creative or your purpose, your career, your calling. You're misaligned right now. I think you know you're misaligned, but I think you think that you're doing it for the greater good of fill in the blank. This will be better for everyone in the long run. It's actually what I'm supposed to do now because of XYZ. Or I believe it because of this, or no, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but, and then we have a whole list of buts, like my sister would say, and it's like, no, then you don't know. You really don't know, because everything you said after the but negates everything before that. So if we're making excuses, reasons, I'm not saying that they're not reasons that you believe, but I'm saying those aren't reasons not to do it. Those are just excuses we come up with, and then we anchor to those things. And those things are holding us back. We believe those things to be limiting us and restricting us and very valid in not letting us do this. And Spirit saying it's not valid. It's a safety blanket. It's a protection that we use so we don't have to step inside of this other thing. Because what if we try this thing, and what if all of a sudden I become the biggest thing ever? Wow, that's really scary. Big shoes to fill. Or I do this thing and then I actually fumble it all and it was the biggest dream I had because I don't have confidence in doing it. And then it's like, whoa, it didn't work. So I just kind of keep it as a dream, as a distant thing that never really fully happened. Talk about my big dreams one day, and it never happened. So we could be filling it in either which way, but we're keeping it as a thing we cannot do. Imposter syndrome, that's what I was looking for, okay? So there's an imposter syndrome type thing over here. Now, when we have an imposter syndrome, it's because we have a stronger belief in the whatnots, okay, the identity of what it isn't, that makes us believe and act and speak in that sort of energy. And then it doesn't make room for the true energy. And the true energy is that you're not an imposter. Did I say imposter? You're not an imposter, okay? There is no imposter here. There is learning through an experience, and there is being humble enough to say, I'm going to commit to this greater thing. I'm going to let go of reasons and excuses here, or at least consider that the excuses I'm making are actually not really necessarily holding me back. They might be valid reasons that I'm doing certain things, but they're not a reason why I can't take action or move towards this direction. I am saying no, but it's real because of the because and but. Again, my sister coming through. It never is the answer. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and argue because you're going to come up with 100 reasons why you got to take care of grandma. And there's all these practical things that need to go in line. And Spirit's saying, no, everything's already going to happen when you take little steps. Everything will unfold for you. Yes, you're right. The end goal isn't lined up perfectly like a T right now. You're going to make it line up. You are. How? Because Spirit's going to say, by you taking the little step, you're showing the universe, I trust in my ability in getting aligned. I have this true desire and belief in what the divine's going to unfold for me, that I'm taking a step blindly. That's how much I trust this thing. And then Spirit says, wow, you must really want this. Let me move all obstacles out of your way. Let me bring everything and everyone you need so that this could align, because you truly see value in yourself in this thing. But when you tell me that you have all these other reasons and things, it's like, okay, then you don't want this bad enough. You'd rather make reasons and excuses. And you can say, well, it's not about a want. It's about a need or a have, or again, no, because if you were at the critical point of this being more than anything you could have ever wanted, you would choose this. When we get to a point where we have to make a decision, it's like, which one has more strength and pull over us? Okay, so clearly we don't want this thing bad enough or deep enough. Okay, so maybe let's revisit this thing, because I do feel you really, really want this thing. But I think you just second guess the fact that there's these things, and you just chalk it up to it's the way it is. It's the way it is, and this is how it has to be. And Spirit's saying no. Okay, and so what you're not seeing, okay, because others see it and you don't, is actually how aligned you are really with this thing. It's like, you're really not seeing your value and your skill and your contribution in a way that you're fully realized and your potential is out, because you're in a small sort of energy or like environment, okay? But people can see through this because they see your potential. They could feel it through you. Okay, you have big, big energy here. And I think that whatever this thing is also does require you to be seen. And maybe that's the thing. It's like, I'm kind of private, or I don't like to be put out there, or I don't see, these are all reasons why we're thinking that we don't do it. But I'm not really the public type, or I'm not really the type that shares my art, or I'm not. No. Well, if you say you're not going to be. You're none of those things. You're not any of those things. Okay. You just are the present moment. You just are the choices that you're making here in the present moment. So I feel like Spirit is wanting you to know that there is a fear here of being vulnerable to the divine and rolling this out, because what if it's successful, and what if it goes in a direction that I don't really know and have no control over it? That's fine. Let it. That's the way it's going to go. That's how these beautiful things are built. But have trust in yourself and in the divine that this thing will unfold perfectly for you. Okay? And I do feel like maybe we're keeping busy with challenging situations kind of as a self-sabotage again. Like, I have a job I don't like, and so I it almost seems like every day there's like a challenge here, and it's like I'm keeping busy. I'm just as much a part of the problem, it's like, or let's just say this is an example. There's a relationship that's like, man, these people, like, they're just annoying and blah, blah, blah. And it's every day. It's like, again, I'm getting my sister. It's like, year 7 and we're still complaining about our marriage, or we're still complaining about the people that at work. It's like, why are we still here then? Now it comes to a point where it's on you. It's not these people. No, there is nobody doing nothing. There's just you making decisions. And your decision here is very clear. It's going to be, do I choose the comfort, the belief that I'm less than and that I'm an imposter and that this won't be successful because of all of these reasons why I can't, or it won't, or it shouldn't? Or am I going to actually be in line with the fullest potential here that everyone sees, but I don't connect to here because I'm too busy living in the other world, filling the other shoes here, because this provides me with a level of control, some form of security. And on top of it, it protects what I'm trying to not see or touch, which is this reverse empress, because this needs healing. This reverse empress is the core of why I'm 7 years later still complaining about the same job or the same people or have the same thoughts. It's because I'm still choosing that path. I'm still choosing that narrative. I'm still choosing those thoughts. It's like, no. And if we were like this, we'd make the decision. I don't need to suffer. I can make conscious choices. I am empowered to receive what is beautiful and abundant and decline anything misaligned, because I know that I'm worthy of all abundance, and anything that's misaligned isn't for me. Rather than saying, no, but these people, they're seriously like driving me down the, like this job, like it's just annoying. And like but then what would I do? And how would I pay? It's like, no. You're not the only person in the world that has to be stuck to a miserable marriage or a miserable job or a miserable situation or circumstance or a difficult one and have no way out and no control. It's like, no, we do have. We don't want to admit it. We want to think that, no, this one's different though. Those people have support, or those people actually have money, or those people. But me, I'm different here, upholding this cross. No, you're not actually. You're just choosing the thing that's making you feel small and making you not feel good. Because a core belief here of a reverse empress. Okay, so Spirit wants you to take a step in the direction, and it might be overwhelming. It might really be, because it's like admitting this would, one, mean that we were putting up with something like this, and so we kind of betrayed ourselves. So how do we sit with that? We might be like, oh yeah, like I was choosing this, like, and maybe I didn't love myself enough, or I wasn't standing up for myself. And it's like, you don't want to sit with that, you want to believe that you do love yourself. And of course you do, because under that you do. It's the wound that's talking. It's the reactionary thing that's making these decisions to stay in discomfort and sabotage and choosing the discomfort with all of these things. And say, who would choose discomfort? Who? The person who thinks that that's a better place to be, rather than facing a truth that makes them feel even more uncomfortable. Because this other thing will probably make you feel even more uncomfortable, or that's the belief that it would. It would stretch me. It would make me look at this and I'll just stick to this thing, because at least I know how to argue and how to stay here and be miserable, So there's a need to accept that there's something greater for you, that you have greater potential, and that the power is actually in your hands to make decisions. It's not in anyone else's hands, okay? And so I feel like there's energy that's being diverted maybe into something else, and it's like an outlet here. I don't know what this message is about, but it is coming through. It's like, I don't know what outlet you have right now, but I do feel it's a creative outlet. And I do feel like you're kind of connecting to this thing in a different means, or going around, because this thing is really, really aligned for you, and so we can't just shut it out completely. So I think instead of going the direct path, we're indirectly sort of have our one toe in, and Spirit saying, no, it's not like just dabble in this thing and have our one toe. So maybe this is like a dream that you're doing maybe part-time. Or maybe we do it just once a summer and then we forget about it, or we're just sort of dabbling and we kind of investigate it and then we dropped it and we're kind of half-assed about it. And we keep it half-assed for a reason, like I said, because it's imposter. It's like, well, I kind of want to, so I'm kind of there, I'm kind of investigating, but really the push of it to actually commit to this thing, to say that I'm this thing, would take a bigger part of me. And I'm not quite sure that I can, or that this and that. It's like, no, now it's just those thoughts coming in. Yes, you can. Not can, you already are. There is no can, there's just you are. And so you can either choose you are or choose that you're not. That is in your hands completely. It's as simple as that, And anytime something comes up to fight that, that it's just a strong, strengthened belief in something that's untrue. And so you can let it come. But you don't need to believe it. You don't need to act on that voice. You don't need to do anything at all with it. You just see it and say, okay, there goes my voice again saying that it can't or that it won't or that this, but it's not true. Even if I feel that it might be true, I know logically this doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to play small. So I got to believe. I got to believe that I am capable of this thing, even if I don't feel it, because I know that I'm healing something, and I know that once I overcome this, then I'll be in line with this thing. But this is the way through. I can't shy away at the first negative thought of this thing and believe it. Those negative thoughts are going to keep coming, even when we are like at the top of our game. There's always negative thoughts, Someone leaves a bad comment, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, we start to second guess ourselves, or someone says something that just judges us, and then we start to hear our parents' voice or the little voice again, why we didn't do it in the first place. We start to second guess our whole thing. It's like, no. People are always going to have opinions. There's always going to be judgments, and we're not everyone's cup of tea, and we're never going to be everyone's art or succeed at every single thing. And that's not what you're here for. But what you are here for is great success in the field and what you're being aligned with. It's completely for you. Completely for you. Standing out, originality, okay? And existing by oneself. I feel this is solely you and about you. It's you. And you don't need a whole bunch. And I think that's the thing is like with these lotuses, like I was saying, growing, it's like a beautiful thing that you could create with such little bit. And a little bit is going to go such a long way. And I think maybe you have an idea that you need all these things, and Spirit saying, no, the little bit is going to go a long way. The little bit is going to flourish. You're going to see the beauty there, and it's going to build and build and build. You don't need a whole bunch of things to be lined up and for it to be successful. You will see the beauty instantly with what it is that you have. Okay, that's what Spirit's assuring you. But Spirit wants you to get moving. And this will be abundant for you. This will provide your security. I feel like maybe you think that there is more dependency on your circumstance, your situation, your job, or the people around you, or your situation, so much so that it's like, I can't make a move out of this. No, that's not true. You might feel that way, but it's coming from you, actually. You might see something in a certain way, and then you're really believing that that's the case. It's like you're just seeing it that way. That's your perception of it. There is nothing like this that is limiting your movement. Okay, if there is some sort of resource or financial setup, Spirit is saying it is going to get aligned differently. There's so many other vast ways this could work out. Don't be hung up to the way that it is right now. The way that it is right now anyway is creating challenge, and you have to accept the downside. And this downside is much greater than the upswing of it. Okay, like this is too much downside. There's more upswing here and making a move out of this thing, even if it's a little wobbly, even if I have to, be questioning something. It's like I got to go through the moon of not knowing. You have to go through the moon of not knowing. Anyone who did anything worthwhile had to go through the moon of not knowing. Fearful. I don't know exactly, but I'm going to put one foot in front of another. There's fears in doing the unknown, We don't want to risk. We don't want a chance. And things start looking even more scary and more magnified. And what if, and what if, and what if? No, don't let the what ifs hold you back. Anyway, pile number 1, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much. You'll have to know in the comments what's pulling you, And if you don't know, this could still be your reading, because I do feel like it could just be, I know that it's not this, and I know that there's something else. And it's like one little step that I know I'd have to do to break free from this, but I'm not doing that because fill in the blank. And we know that we need to make movement here because there's another calling, there's another me, there's another timeline, there's another thing here. Do not believe that you're this identity. You're not. All right? Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 2. You guys picked the bubble with 27. It's funny because every time I read with these cards, I always tell you guys that this bubble always comes out. This is kind of like a reverse hangman, or the way I read reverse hangman, okay? It's like we have our narrow perception, and our narrow understanding or perception is boxing out anything outside of that could also be viable. So it's really limiting and restricting because we have one mindset. Okay, that's what this bubble is about, but we don't know yet what this means and how it comes into play. Is this you? Is this someone you're working with? What's going on here? What we're looking at is your understanding of a situation, okay, and how you understand it to be, perceive it to be, and what is the actual truth of the matter. Okay, are you actually understanding it accurately? And this is just confirmation, or are you completely out to lunch with your own perception and projections and you're completely seeing it not true? Okay, I don't know what we're going to see, but it's the biggest thing here in which Spirit wants to bring to your attention. That might help things move forward, might help free you, might provide clarity or just support or whatever you're needing to know right here, right now. Best way to know whether this is your pile rather than wishful thinking is to tap into your intuition. What you'll see, feel, or hear throughout this card layout to know whether this is your pile. Okay, only you could do this. Okay, so you don't have to listen to this, but if your intuition is all out of whack, do not take messages that aren't yours because it could put you in a world of trouble. Okay, so clarity. Wow, so when we're clear, we could think we're clear, but when we're really clear, we see truth. Are we seeing truth or are we thinking we're seeing truth? I don't know. Clarity. 27 or 9. So 9 is all about fruition, completion, fulfillment. 9 is hermit. 9 is moon. So we're getting some Virgo and some Cancer. 9 is about wisdom and closure and service to humanity. Okay, so we have escape. Okay, so we have Mars in Pisces. Escape. All right. Number 12 is Hangman. Interesting because I said this gives me Hangman in reverse. So 12 is 3. 3s are all about growth, relationships, initial success. I'm seeing Chariot here as well. Okay. So we have the bat. Wow. So bats use their guidance system, which I think is sonar. So it's all about like using this intuition to navigate, we might not see. Clarity could mean seeing clearly, but what's clear? The intuition clear? The vision is clear? The knowing is clear? The information is clear? What is this? Bat. Okay. I'm feeling some Scorpio energy. And we have Cassia with confidence. The trigger statement is, I can't do that. The true statement is, I am a light. Step forward and be the bright light that you are. Serve your purpose to the world by sharing your amazing gifts. Wow, this is all what pile 1 was encompassing. If some of you guys were called for 1, take that as confirmation. 1 could certainly be your pile as well. Okay, and then we have perfectionism, 37 and 1. Requirement, procedure, serious, severity, precision, having a unique vision. Type 1, the perfectionist, instinctive center between control and letting go, and fixation. Wow, fixation. She looks very fixated on something. 104 and 5. Return to the world, growth level. This is the authentic expression with the throat chakra. Mentorship and guidance, spiritual leadership, teaching, wisdom, sharing, support and advice, spiritual education. Type 5 in the observer thinking center between interior and exterior. So we have some Virgo, some Gemini, and some Taurus, and some Sagittarius energy here. Okay, let's pull the tarot. For pile number 2, Spirit, what is their understanding and what is the truth of that situation or their situation, circumstance, energy, whatever it is that they're believing? What is the truth of that matter? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 2. Please protect me and the viewers that channel this message. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy. The energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Okay, so we have strength at the bottom of the deck. Strength is Leo. Under the strength card, we have the Ace of Pentacles. The beginning, manifestation, something solid. 6 of Cups in reverse. Justice in reverse, Libra energy. Ace of Wands in reverse. We got 2 aces now. This one's in reverse. King of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. And we have the Sacred Clown, which is Aquarius. This is the Fool in the traditional tarot. And we have the Prince of Pentacles in reverse, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, let me sit here with this energy. You guys can skip ahead. Under the strength, or sorry, under the Ace of Pentacles, we have the Emperor in reverse. Oh my goodness, Aries energy. This is really interesting energy, you guys. I'm going to read it exactly like this. This isn't going to be everyone's reading, okay? I understand this. I feel there is sort of your energy, okay, if I'm getting it right. And then there's like someone else sort of here as well. Okay, I don't know if it's another energy of someone you're dealing with or situation you're dealing with. A beautiful angel. You're such a guiding, beautiful light here. I don't know that we always believe this, you know? It's like maybe we see glimpses of this. It's like through my intuition, I sometimes know this. I think you're becoming clearer and clearer and clearer about your sort of function, if you will, you know, like your value and your what you're actually providing and doing here on the 3D plane. Okay, because I do feel like you could be having an internal battle right now, and this is what wants to be cleared up, of an understanding that you might have held of yourself that isn't accurate. And it is trying to be very humble, you know, but I think we're downplaying ourselves in a way here. We're not understanding the significance we actually do have, the profound significance that you are this beautiful light. Now, you might think that you are a light, but you're not sure the great power that you actually have. And this could limit your situation, your circumstance here, because of your own sort of getting in your own way of your belief and putting narrow vision on your capability and the narrow vision of your actual impact. Like your impact is actually way bigger than you think. Your ability to trust your intuition, which is like just going sort of blind and being led by an unspoken thing, is actually more accurate than you know. And of course, how could we ever confirm and justify this thing? Because if we can't measure it up to a knowing, a truth, you know, then it's like we're just going by a feel. I hope this is making sense. Because it's just like spirituality. Like if, you know, like unless it's like backed up by science and certain things, it's like, it's kind of hard to tell. But you can't deny a spiritual experience or an integration of an experience that's true, that's been experienced and realized. How do you deny it? How do you pretend it doesn't exist? You can't. I feel like there's a lot of this going on to the point where I feel like you've been forced to be navigating with your intuition. Okay, and you're getting clearer and clearer here, but what Spirit's saying is you're not totally seeing the complete capacity of your ability to drive this way. You're leading, okay? You're really leading energetically by doing this sort of activity. I don't think you know how much of an impact you are with this energy that you're off-putting. It says transmitting, okay? Specifically someone around you or situation around you. I'm going to read it as it's a someone. Okay, I feel like this might feel almost like unreal. So I get back into the 3D, trying to justify into logic or make sense of something and try to convince myself of something else because it makes more sense. Because other than that, it's like, I don't want to be in some fantasy. I don't want to be all in the 5D or escaping into some sort of intuition, some sort of fantasy world or something that's not grounded or rooted in reality. But Spirit is saying you're actually rooted. Look at this tree person. You are rooted. And I think this is what you don't know or see is like you feel like when you're in the 5D or when you're acting spiritual or when you're listening to the intuition, it's like, no, I'm just sort of woo-woo, out in outer space, having wishful thinking. It's like, no, this is the part of the journey thing, is trusting your ability to make decisions without confirming anything here. You are a beautiful guiding light. You are grounded. And maybe it took a while to get grounded, you know? Maybe when your intuition and this was being developed, it's like I felt like I was escaping into some other realm. And it's like, how do I come back to Earth, or how do I ground this in the 3D? You're learning about grounding in the 3D. But the biggest thing right now is your own understanding that's been taught to you over time, because of course we're humans, so we have human experiences. That's what we know. So anything outside of human experience is an unknown. Intuition is sort of like new to me, and 5D is sort of new to me, and like these dimensions might be new to me. It's like all these realms, like I'm not an all-knower, an all-seer, so how do I know? I'm very restricted by my human capacity. My mind keeps these limiting things, and as long as I'm limited, I create these walls around how far I can go. And you're going far, okay? But we have to know we have walls. We have to know we have certain beliefs and certain thoughts, and especially I feel like you're wanting, I don't know so much if it's a want, but there's this like heavy reliance on sort of a procedure type thing. And I'm getting a lot of earth energy. So this really resonates for me because I have heavy Virgo, and it's like procedure, like order and structure. Like if this is true, A is true and B is true, then C is true. Like there's structure and flow. Meanwhile, we know with spiritual things, there is no linear anything. There is truths, but truths are felt in a different way than, science and like factual sort of proof here. Okay, outside of experience and other truths. Okay, that aren't just truths because we can't confirm it. Just like love. How do you confirm factually you love someone? How do you do this? And when I say you love your husband or your friend or your person, show me proof. Yeah, well, I talk to them and I spend time with them. So that's not proof. But I feel it. Okay, well, that's not proof. How do we have proof? Okay, so I feel like there's something here you're butting up that's unrealistic on yourself. And I feel like it's a heaviness you're carrying unnecessarily, a heaviness to have some sort of perfect thing or order or structure or something going linear, or I need to understand it better. Or it's like, no, you're already understanding it, so much so you're understanding it that now it's like you're not trusting it. And so we're still limited by the other part of us. And it's like, no, let that other shoe drop. Like fly free here, trusting yourself. Spirit is saying you have a very sharp intuition. You can see clearly with this. Trust it. Navigate with it. Don't second guess it. Okay, now back to this other person here that I see, because I do feel like you're a guiding light. There is somebody here. And I feel like this person might be in shadow with this Emperor in reverse. I don't feel it's the same energy. Okay, and so why are people brought into our world and situation? So we can make change and impact and growth. Somebody is needing to grow. Somebody might be needing a mirror. Somebody might be needing a guiding light. And you're the perfect catalyst that Spirit is using to provide this sort of sense of energy to have change and shift and growth for you. And specifically, I do feel it's for somebody here. Okay, and so I feel that this has been pushing us outside of our comfort zone because maybe, again, we're not used to just navigating blind or trusting the intuition or the unspoken or the unseen and having to sort of navigate this way. And it's like, I want to see, I want proof, or I want this or that. And Spirit is saying, we might have not have got this right yet, but that doesn't mean that what we're experiencing is not true. I feel like we're experiencing a situation that seems almost unjust, almost imbalanced. And it really feels like it's doing something here in regards to, I don't know, a karmic justice or a karmic experience or a karmic balancing of sorts, a need for healing of something. So it's a past relationship, a past agreement, a past recognition of something that needs to be accomplished to bring back balance and harmony, and maybe in both your lives or to a situation or an understanding or a growth. Okay, and this person you're dealing with here could be needing to see the light and you being leading by this example for their full potential. Because I do feel like this person might be somebody who is sort of on this journey, on this road of also growing and having their talents be utilized and seen and connected to. But how does Spirit connect to this person? Through you utilizing you, because you're the perfect outlet for Spirit to manifest so that there could be some growth here. Now, you're not just used for someone else's sort of amusement and growth, because you're also growing here as well. But I feel like you might not understand the impact you're having here. You might not really see how you're significantly making change here. And when we make change, even if it's like one person's world, this person impacts millions of people. When they touch one person and another person and that person touches another person, it's kind of like, what's it called? When the laws of, what's it called? It's like through the I don't know. I forget what the word is, but it's like I could be connected to, let's say, Robert De Niro, through like three people and automatically be connected. It's like we're all sort of connected here. And so when we make big change like this, we're actually impacting a whole bunch of people in this whole certain way in which things are written. And we don't see this, and we're very sort of maybe fixated on, but I might be out, or but I'm only seeing this, but I'm only experiencing that. And but now we're fixated on what we're seeing and experiencing on us, but we're not seeing the ramifications that's happening out there. And we might say, well, I don't really care. Well, then we're an ego. We don't really care that we're having positive impact, that we're making change, ripples beyond our belief. Yes, we do care. And I feel you would care, but I think we get very hung up on what it is we're seeing. And it's like, I'm not seeing this or that in my world. It's like, you won't see a fraction of your impact that you're having. You're having massive impact here. Okay. And I feel like you're dealing with somebody here who might be an ego, who might need to build their courage, who might see your strength as a reason for them to step into their courage. Because right now they're most likely cowardly, even if they're kind of peacocking or acting like they're the most confident person, because sometimes we act confident when we're lacking confidence. This person lacks confidence in the ability to step into their power, because this person, I feel, isn't confident in themselves. This person's being asked to manifest in the 3D something real, and they've been either shying away from it, acting like it's not for them, pretending like they can't. And it's like, no, Spirit is saying this person is being called to the plate. They've been stalling, delayed, not wanting to explore, but staying small, or just like not pursuing, kind of wandering, and maybe a little lost, maybe a little immature, maybe a little bit non-committal. It's going wherever the wind takes them, maybe a little not serious, whatever it is, but they haven't really had a reason to be driven, a reason to fulfill their purpose. There's a spiritual contract here. Someone's supposed to fulfill some sort of spiritual contract here. And I do feel like it's someone you're working with, someone around you. It could be a lover, a friend, a situation, or a circumstance that's going to fully develop into this person's perfect full potential here as a King of Pentacles, where they're feeling completely liberated now because they're secure with themselves. Because I feel like this person is taking this freedom and the security from the fact that they are free to sort of roam, but they're also not anchored. They're also not, they're sort of at the mercy, and it's good to be at the mercy of the universe, because then no one can really take anything sort of away from us. We're all at the mercy of the universe. But they use this as an excuse to not amount to something, to not be of value, to not provide some sort of secure, stable, grounded sort of energy. It's like, well, I'll just sort of roam the earth without purpose and all of this thing. It's like, no, we're just choosing to play small because we don't want to be in our full potential, because for whatever reason, we don't believe it, we're a little cowardly, or we get in sort of this energy. And so this person's on a journey from A to Z, from an Ace of Pentacle all the way to this King of Pentacle, which is the last card of the tarot here. This is a huge journey, and this is the Fool, which is the first card of the tarot. So the first card of the tarot to the very last card of the tarot, major arcana, minor arcana, start with the Ace of Pentacles, the very first card of the Pentacle, to this. This is really profound. This is a journey where I think you picked up this person at freaking rock bottom or ground zero. How challenging and heavy could this be? Because this is a complete sort of turns and twists. The journey of the Fool goes through all the cards of the major arcana. Sadness, highs, lows, ups, downs, twists, turns, stucks, deaths, rebirths. All of this stuff is being experienced here, And it could be very confusing and very sort of, what's it for? And it could create a whole lot of imbalance when we start to see what we're out, or what is sort of happening. It's like, where's it going? Is there even an end game or an end goal? Or is this just a whole windy thing? It's like, yes, it's a windy thing, but there is a result here, and the result is full fulfillment. The result here is a solid person. Okay. And I feel like Spirit is saying, we got to get out of the weeds and get out of the matrixy of what we're seeing with our eyes and impacting us directly as the barometer of whether this is successful, or whether intuition is good, or whether our actions are okay. Spirit is confirming your actions are okay. Get out of your own way. We're not asking for perfection. This doesn't require perfection. This is an art of trusting. This is an art of navigating without fully knowing or confirming, and that's okay. We still have movement, and sometimes we might feel like we're in some dreamy energy here of like Neptunian fantasy. Okay, but Spirit is saying, get it back to groundedness, because you have the ability to bring groundedness here. Do not get lost in outer space. And I think you're learning about this balance. You're learning about groundingness. You're learning about being clear about intention, regardless of what's manifesting in the 3D. This is true spiritual leadership, because it's really a devotion and a belief to a greater truth, regardless if it's manifesting and being seen. And we know that it will manifest. We know that there's a greater truth beyond this physical plane that's existing here. Okay, so a beautiful pile number 2. This is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you guys very much, and I will see you at the next one. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. You guys have the card of superiority, number 6, and we're looking at what it is here that you believe to be true, an understanding you have, your own perception of something. Okay, whether it is accurate or not, we're going to see the ultimate truth here from spirit, where you might be misconstruing something or maybe validating what you already know and just confirming and giving you some confirmation, or bringing lights to something that it might be not really the truth of the matter. Okay, and so like I mentioned, this would require us to be very humble in what we see and that we could actually be inaccurate. Okay, but to see past our own beliefs and shadows takes a lot of humility and a lot of like putting ourselves in a situation that's, what if I don't know the answer? What if this could be different than how I see it? It's the only way to grow. You know, this doesn't mean buy what I'm telling you. Of course, if it's not your reading, it's not your reading. But we'll think it's not our reading, and it was the big fat reading for us. If I had a nickel for everyone who said it's not my reading, and I see them frequently and it's their reading, it just makes me laugh. But anyway, you'll know if it's your reading or not, and if you don't, that's fine. Come back here at another point, okay? So I have pre-shuffled oracle cards. I've not looked at these, and we're looking at what it is Spirit wants to tell you in regards to what you're believing as true and what is the absolute truth of this thing. Okay, so superiority in 6. 6 is the card of the Lovers and the Devil. So we have some Gemini and some Capricorn pulling through energetically. We have specialization. Uh-oh, I'm special is what I'm getting from this thing. Okay, we might not say it, but our actions might believe this to be the point, that we are something special here, and everyone is sort of special, but which makes us all not special, you know? God wouldn't put us here to compare to others, good and bad. If that were the case, then God would make a bunch of clones. Who's the best of the clone? We're all individual and unique because we're all special. So is there some comparison here? I don't know. There's a lot of butterflies here. Butterflies are all about transformation. Okay, again, this could be your energy or someone else's. I see the Sacred Heart. Beautiful. Specialization. Okay, and then we have Mercury in Capricorn with organization. I'm also getting Virgo with the wheat. Okay, because I do feel it symbolizes the Virgin for Virgo here. So Capricorn, Virgo, Mercury is Virgo and Gemini. 10 is all about completions, ends of cycles. It's also Wheel of Fortune and Sun. So Sun is Leo. Okay. Sun is divine masculine energy. Yeah. And then we have Polar Bear. Wow. Been called to read this one. I think I will grab this. Let's see. Give me a sec. Polar Bear. I do love to read intuitively, but I do feel a lot of times the author of the cards will know more or less what these meanings are to be. And since I don't use this one very often, I like to get intimate with the author's meaning. So the polar bear, it says courageous self-reflection and realignment. The polar bear, a majestic inhabitant of the Arctic, possesses a thick white fur coat and powerful paws, evolved perfectly to survive in the harsh and frozen environment. It roams the tundra alone as a solitary creature. The polar bear signifies courageous self-reflection and realignment. It inspires us to embrace moments of introspection and make the necessary adjustments to our lives to adapt to change. By observing the polar bear's journey, we learn strength in solitude, the importance of taking action, and the significance of being adaptable. The polar bear's vulnerable existence serves as a reminder of our responsibility to care for ourselves. Call in the polar bear when you need realignment. It will cradle you in its warm, fluffy fur and help you feel safe. Life has a way of rapidly changing direction or feeling stagnant. These polar opposites can trigger our insecurities and uncertainty, making it hard to see clearly when we feel overwhelmed. We can lose sight of our direction when those feelings become really big, unsure of what to do next, where to go, and how to handle things. Polar bear is a gentle reminder that the soul searching that comes from these directional shifts serves us when we have faith to lean into it. Trusting in the path is often the hardest part. As you evolve and grow spiritually, facing change will come with difficulty. but you are emotionally strong and adaptable with a malleable spirit. We all have capacity to shape our future based on our hopes, wishes, and desires. Sometimes we have the internal blocks that can stop or hinder our progress forward. When we self-reflect and dig a little deeper, we can connect with the parts of us that block us from moving into a new direction. These blocks can come from past beliefs, frozen in time, unprocessed pain that is held in the subconscious. When compassionate support and courage to self-reflect, you can learn from the past, release blocks, and approach the future with optimistic caution instead of fear. Polar Bear can help hold space for you as your spirit realigns. It can guide you towards courageous self-reflection, helping you confront any fears or obstacles that may be holding you back. Polar Bear can show you how to embrace change and adapt to new circumstances, just like it does in its changing environment. By tapping into the polar bear's inner strength, you can harness the bravery to look inwards and make positive changes in your life. You will discover that true courage comes from a place of vulnerability and self-reflection. Polar Bear will help you connect with the right people who can help nourish your soul. You are a resilient, adaptable, and evolving soul. That was a mouthful. Probably your whole reading. All right. So we have cardamom with integrity. Okay, the trigger statement is, it is their fault. True statement, my thoughts are the cause of my suffering. As emotions rise, go within to see what stories and memories are fueling them. Then release what is not serving you with gratitude. That's all this thing is about, okay? And then we have anger. Aggressiveness, irritability, judgment, criticism, bitterness, and conviction. Type 1, the perfectionist. Instinctive center between control and letting go with 46. Okay, so 1 is Virgo Gemini. 1 is all about new beginnings, potential opportunity. Okay. And we have 97 and 7, divine joy, mystical union, emotional deepness, pain accepted, mindfulness, contentment, intense presence, profound satisfaction. Type 7, enthusiast, thinking center between pleasure and pain. And this is the heart chakra. 7 is Cancer. 7 is about faith, wisdom, reflection, which was all about this polar bear. Okay, and understanding, which is a form of acceptance. It's also Chariot, which is integrating shadow. And I do feel there's a shadowy pain here, some form of an ego thing that needs to be integrated so we can move forward, release, and accept. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see with the tarot. For pile, I do feel these are all needed. For pile number 3, spirits, can we get what it is that pile 3 is believing or understanding? And what is the truth here for pile 3? Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. We have 4 cups. We have 3 swords. We have 2 of swords in reverse. We have 4 pentacles, and we have the Chariot. So we were feeling Chariot from the 7, and we were talking about integration of shadow. King of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Bottom of the deck, we have the Sacred Crown, which is the Fool card in the traditional tarot, Aquarius energy, and then 6 cups under that. Okie dokie. Let me sit here with this energy, okay? Pile number 3. Okay. Pile number 3, this message is very clear, and this is difficult for me to deliver, okay? Because this is like having a conversation with my sister, and I always used to get very frustrated. I keep bringing my sister up in this conversation, or in these readings now. So I'm feeling her here. Same energy, okay? It's kind of frustrating when you deal with someone like this. Yes, I'm calling you frustrating. Why? Because I see beyond this thing, okay? And you're not quite there yet, so I shouldn't get frustrated because we get there in our own time. But we're our worst enemy. Okay? For this group, you're probably not going to think that this is you because we can't see beyond ourselves. I want to tell you how you'll know this is you. If you're not in a peaceful place, if someone else is still creating suffering in your world, you're still not at peace. You're still feeling pain. This pile most likely is for you, okay? Don't discount it. Don't dismiss it. Don't think you're further ahead. This is what's creating your suffering. I think I'm further ahead. I think I know. No, you don't. You don't know. What you think you know is actually not right at all. What you think is someone else or the reason of your suffering is something. Whatever that something is, it's actually not the reason of your suffering. Do you want to know the reason of your suffering? It's you. It's you. You're the cause of your own suffering. How am I? Of course I wouldn't choose this. Of course I wouldn't. I'm making all this transformation. I'm making all this change. I'm kind. I'm doing all of this stuff. Look how special I am. And I'm not being facetious here. Trying to do and be and all of this stuff is still you trying to say that something out there is creating the suffering and that you're a doer and that you're going to undo this by some form of being and doing something different. And that you aren't the one that creates your suffering, and that this either comes in from the external and you have control to block it, or how to manipulate it, or how to either take it or not take it. It's like, no, it's not coming from out there and that you could take it, not take it, or do it. No. It's going to be inside of you. Something either sits there or it doesn't. Something sitting in there, period. If there was nobody in the world right now, this thing would still be sitting in you. That's what needs to get looked at. There's something sitting within you. It's pain, it's suffering. Okay. Does it exist? Not really. Okay. We had an experience. The ramifications of the experience were real. I experienced pain and suffering. It could have been as a child, abandonment, feeling lack, feeling sad, feeling abandoned, feeling judged, feeling hated, feeling less than, all of these things I don't like. I experienced it. The experience was real, but that experience now has come and gone into manifestation and out of manifestation. The only thing that exists is you right here, right now. Your body is one thing. Your consciousness is seeing your body as a function of the universe. Okay. And your consciousness is that as an extension of the divine that cannot be tainted by anyone else's doing, especially someone's doing of the past. They haven't changed anything about your essence. Okay. And so there's something within you here. The something within you needs to be looked at. It's not that someone else out there, okay, someone's going to act in a way that's either going to be peaceful enough and then I could take it and I can neutralize it and I can manipulate energies to either take it and transmute it, or no, that's not how you're transmuting. What you're transmuting here is a pain from the inside. Okay, you have a belief here that you're the one who's in the right and that whoever you're dealing with or whatever you experience was bad or wrong. There is no bad and wrong. And that, at first blush is very hard for people to hear. What do you mean there's no bad? There's like pedos and child abuse and all of this stuff. And I'm not justifying these things. Of course, these things are heinous crimes and they feel really intense and they don't feel good. This is the laws of polarity. There's only polarity. And every experience is karmic justice unfolding. Things have to unfold. We don't know what karmic justices are and why things are happening the way they happen. Only the Lord knows. These things are not under our judgment. We cannot judge and say this bad, this good. What makes you God? You don't know. All you know is experience. Yeah, but this feels good and that feels bad. Yeah, and someone else could have the same experience and say that what you think feels good actually doesn't feel good. Why is your judgment more accurate than mine? It's not. It's just your perception. It's just your experience. Right now, you have a judgment that someone did you dirty or did you bad, or you had an experience that hurt you. I get it. I want to be compassionate for you, but I'm at the point here where you don't need compassion here to nurture this thing. You need compassion for yourself to suffer enough to want to get out of this. The only way we're going to get out of the suffering is when we hurt so much, we want peace more than we want to be right. Right now, we want to be right. We want to believe that there is someone that hurts us or that things are happening in a certain way. And we could say, well, no, I don't want to believe this thing. And this is so my understanding of how it was built. But if we're still hurt, that's driver enough for us to change. If we're still suffering, we're obviously not suffering enough. Because when we suffer, it's like drowning in the ocean. You want to get out of that ocean. You got to breathe. There's only one way, and it's to the surface. And you're going there come hell or high water. You're fighting, you're kicking, you're screaming, you're going to the surface like you can't breathe. That's your only goal. Should be your conviction to get out of this. What is this? You have pain and suffering here of an experience that's being put on everyone and everything. It's not you. You did everything right. No. Okay, this isn't victim blaming or shaming, saying you're the only one and you're the responsible one. No. But what it is saying is the experience happened. Who cares whose fault it is now that we're in the present moment? But the present moment is calling you to take ownership that you're carrying this thing that happened. Whether, you could debate here all day whether you were deserving of it, not deserving. Only the Lord knows. Only karma knows whether you're deserving or not deserving. Who cares? This point right now is, how do I overcome this pain and suffering? Do I want to be right and be stuck here with this pain? No. I want to be out of here. So I got to admit that I had a helping hand and have a helping hand in undoing this thing. You do. You're the only one who can undo this thing. How do you undo this suffering? By undoing your beliefs. Right now, there's a belief that there's an external that can come in and can impact me. And it can impact me good and it can impact me bad. Why? Because I carry judgments. I carry a mindset that there's good and bad. There's polarity. There's this person and that person. Separation. That there's different things going on. It's like, no, we're all one and the same. What happens to you happens to me. When I have good intention, you have good intention. It's all tied because everything is karmically tied. I can't be sneaky and do you dirty without experiencing karma myself. Okay, and so if I believe that, then I'm under the guise of a misperception that I'm like above the universe, creating a separate law of energy. No, everyone's subject to the same laws of energy. Okay, cause and effect. This is the laws of action, the laws of karma. And so the laws of karma have already unfolded however they've unfolded. We now need to see ourselves as we see everyone else. Everyone, including those that are in shadow, are equally as valid. They have equal pains from their relative perspective. Whoever hurt you was hurt themselves. And so this doesn't justify and say this is why they should have hurt you. This is saying that if you were in their shoes, you would hurt people too. Okay, this is just like if we were in prison because we had a lapse of judgment, we did something, heat of the moment or whatever, we had something genetic where we just lost all common sense, or we were brought up in like a druggy home where we had no parental development or no thing, and we, break the law or become a criminal. We want to be given just compassion. We want to be given second chances. We don't want to be put in the corner saying, you're evil, you're bad, you did this thing and that's it, and now you're shunned for life. It's like, well, give me a chance here. Give me a chance here because I was never given a chance here. Whatever this person did to you, I assure you they weren't trying to do it specifically to impact your thing here, okay? So if you didn't experience a big fat trauma here, this is in a very light way, okay? I'm going very deep here because this is how my readings come out, but this is still a belief in out there has an ability to impact me. I have a 3 swords. So people can leave me and abandon me. There's a belief in separation consciousness with this pile, okay? At least. At most, there's this big trauma of being betrayed and hurt, and we can't get over it, okay? But I think anyone who's tapped into this pile and is like, no, I don't see separation consciousness. Do we really inner belief that we're not seeing that out there is a threat, Other people can hurt me and abandon me. We're seeing out there as having more control than it has. That's a misconception. Out there is going to bring me happiness. Out there can hurt me. Out there can abandon me. Out there is the answer to my question. And it holds the key to whether I'm going to be happy now, not bored, entertained, full of love, overcome. No, out there's not going to do any of that stuff. Not because it doesn't want to. It's because it's forever changing. It's manifesting, unmanifesting. And so how could you peg yourself to an illusion? It's forever shifting. Your essence is forever. It's solid. It goes beyond your body. It's always there. It's solid. And this is why we find it from within. It doesn't waver. It's not manifesting and unmanifesting like the body. And so if we peg ourselves to a person, a thing, a job, a relationship, a situation, or a circumstance, it's always going to disappoint. At some point, it is manifesting, unmanifesting. And Spirit is saying it isn't as true as your conscious essence. That's the truth. So truth transcends illusion. We're not saying illusion like it's not happening here. Illusion just means it's not everlasting. Anything that's not everlasting is not true. It might have existed and then it unexists, but it's not true as in it's not everlasting. And so it's an illusion. So don't peg yourself to illusions and saying this will be the source of my happiness, or this will make or break my situation here. Because I feel like this is anger, okay? And every time I say anger, I have people saying, I'm not mad about it, I'm not upset about it, but it's like, no, but you're carrying a heaviness about it and it falls in that bucket. Anger comes in many different forms. When you strip it all away, there's a resentfulness. When you strip it all away, we're sort of uneasy. It's them versus me. I'm making a judgment. That's an anger. It's like a judgment of someone else, has more control or is better or can do this to me. And so this gets us to engage differently. Now we're more guarded. Now our conversations are different. Now we manipulate situations through our ego. I need to protect myself. I need to say it this way. I need to do it that because I want to make sure that I'm a funnel, a filter that takes energy from out there and is like a master magician to manipulate it in a way that I'm okay with. It's like, you don't need to do any of that. You don't. People are going to be people. They're always going to be coming and going. Why? Because your filter might be faulty. Your filter might be something that isn't even going to work. And I think what happened here is spirits is taking away your filter. Your ability to think you have some sort of control on how people engage with you and don't engage. It's like, no, someone just went and did you dirty. And you're like, what? How could that happen? It's like, no, that's a belief. Someone was just being in shadow. It was nothing about you, but we turned it personal, and then we create a judgment. That person bad, me very good. Them the culprit, me the innocent bystander. And now I want to play the victim here, and it's like, no. So how do we heal this? Definitely compassion for ourselves by saying, I have compassion in knowing that I was playing this role. But I have to say that I am the cause of my suffering, because that is the only way I can undo it. If my cause of my suffering is out there, I'm going to forever be seeking out there for keys, and it's very turbulent. It's ever changing. So I might find half the key, a little bit of the key for 2 seconds, and then it disappears. And it's going to be hindering on the manifestations out there. No, Spirit is saying your happiness isn't hindering on things that come and go. Your happiness and your ability to be at peace has no hindrance on what's going on out there. It's completely from within this solid place. The key is there right now. It's here right now. It's already there. You're already free from suffering, but we haven't connected to it. And so we're still in search of it. We're still seeking it. Okay. And I feel like there's a seeking for this like peace, or the seeking for happiness, or something that's going to finally heal this thing, or be revealed to me, or shown to me, or said to me. It's like, no, trust me, it's not coming. Okay. It's like we just have to connect to it inside. And the only way is to be hungry enough, suffering enough to, like I said, swim in that ocean to get to the surface from within ourselves. Because if we're kind of just about it, and then we're just wandering here, trying to find the key, trying to get out of the feeling that we have here. It's like, no, we don't want to feel this way, because this is like, I always bring up the death by a million paper cuts. Sometimes it's even better to have like a tower, sudden realization, even though it might be devastating. It's like one and done, big Band-Aid, or the parent ripping the tooth. This is like the suffering, like days turn to months, turn to years. Why do I feel lonely? Why do I feel upset? Why am I disappointed? Why am I abandoned? No, too many years, too many months in this. It's not going to change. You have to suffer enough to say enough's enough. Enough's enough. I hold the key. Enough's enough. I'm playing this victim role, thinking that out there is going to suddenly change or shift, and then I'm going to see the light. No. You only see the light when you want to see the light. When you say, I am going within, I've had enough of this. I know that the suffering will stop today, or wherever I'm going to reach it. I'm not going to put any timestamp on it. It might be right this moment. It might be a week from now, but I will get there, and I will find what it is that I know is true. And what's true is to be peaceful. What's true is to be happy. What's true is not to be in suffering. You don't need to be in suffering. Suffering is a choice, whether we want to believe it or not. And so the Spirit is saying, release. There's a need to release this pain. There's a need to release the belief in lack, the belief that out there is causing something to me. No, it's not. There's no one causing anything to you. External cannot do anything to you at all. Okay. And so I feel like there's a need for you to sort of support yourself and not attach or hinder your happiness on an external world. Integration of shadow, find a balance, and let go. Because I feel like we're either too held back by an experience we had, and so now we're sort of tentative, or we could just be clinging to the victimhood, We're so used to this 4-cup energy, and we think it's real, like it's really disappointing here, but it really is. That's my reality. It's like, no, you're seeing it as disappointing, or you're seeing it as boring, or you're seeing it as unfulfilling, or you're seeing it as emotionally unsatisfying. That's the way you're seeing it. You're choosing to see it this way. And I'm not saying that you're not feeling this way. Sure, you're feeling emotional dissatisfaction. Sure, you're feeling maybe abandonment or lack or sadness or pain. You are feeling it. There's no doubt in my mind that you're feeling this. What Spirit is saying is you don't need to feel this. You're feeling this because of a mindset. You're feeling this because you have a strong belief in lack. You are feeling this because you believe that out there's an external thing that is capable of bringing you peace and capable of bringing you pain. And there is nothing out there that could bring you peace or pain. Only you can provide peace or pain to self. And once you see this and undo this belief, then you'll find balance. Then you've integrated the shadow. Then you've healed this 3 swords. And then what? You're healed. And when you're healed, you provide a complete different sort of face to the world. Things will shift for you. Then we're no longer in 4 cups. Then we're finding love and happiness and joy. How do we start? By being grateful, by doing the thing that we feel we're lacking right now. Am I lacking love? Give love. Don't withhold. Do I feel like everyone's sort of against me? So now I'm guarded. Okay, well, the more you're guarded and withholding, that's what you're going to experience. More guarded people. Do not be guarded. Do not withhold. Do not withhold. There's a need for you to be open, to give that in which you're not experiencing. And that takes a lot of courage because we don't want to do this. It's like, well, why should I? There we go again with the ego. Why should I? It's their fault. No, it's their fault. Why should I? No, true statement. My thoughts are the cause of my suffering. Why? Because your peace is more happy than being right. Because your desire to get out of suffering and swim in that ocean is the only thing that matters. I need air. I need air. I don't care if this person is this or that. I just need air. What's air? Getting out of suffering, getting out of emotional dissatisfaction, getting out of this 3 swords. I want nothing more than getting out of this 3 swords. I want nothing more. Even if this means being wrong. I don't care. Get me out of suffering. I need to get out of this. How do I get out of this? By being completely humble and saying I could be the whole cause of this and have been upkeeping this and being so hurt that I was resentful and held back and clinging on to this and fearful and anxiety. And I was creating this by the thoughts that I was carrying. I do not want to carry these no more. And I'm going to work very consciously in letting go of these held back energies. Otherwise, this is what I will experience. I'm all up in my mind. And once you're all up in your mind, you create the standstill. And so Spirit is asking, what do you want with the 2 swords? The choice is yours. And you can't sit in 2 worlds. 2 worlds cannot exist together. One world is the truth, which might put you out of your comfort zone and require you to let go of thoughts and not be held back and free yourself. And the other one is sit where I am, blaming everyone and everything, sitting in judgment and hanging on to my 3 swords and not healing it, and then bouncing around, seeking from external thing to external thing. When something brings me pleasure, it's for all of a ham sandwich. And then I'm disappointed again because then that person did me dirty too. What's with all these people doing me dirty? No, nobody can do you dirty. There is no person out there that's going to make you suffer at all. It's no one's fault. Okay. And so I feel like Spirit wants to give you a new beginning. Spirit wants to heal you. And I think what's been put in front of you is an experience here. We might have had an experience as a child with a person, place, or thing. And maybe it's requiring a whole new beginning where we have no baggage. Now, I'm not telling you go forgive the people who have done you dirty, blah, blah, blah. But maybe this is what it's asking you to be, to see this as a child, to come in without baggage, to heal this thing and to be open and not held back and to say, I can actually step here with innocence, with trust, and with love. The only reason I didn't have trust and love and innocence was because I was believing in a story that out there was a threat, that this person or place or thing was going to hurt me. It was just a belief I had. And this doesn't mean people won't hurt me again. Of course, people are going to hurt you. Become comfortable with the fact that people are going to act in shadow and they're going to act in unsuspecting ways. They're going to act like this. But what we need to start believing is how they act has no bearing on my beautiful light. They cannot take away from my essence. There is no taking of the light. There's just me and my authentic light, feeling strong and confident in my being, seeing through my own egos and shadows. Nobody can do anything to you. They can be unruly all day long. You know what I mean? And so Spirit is asking you for a new beginning in a situation here. I don't know what this is about. This could be this situation that created 3 swords. Maybe you had an unruly relationship. Maybe we just need closure with someone. Maybe we need to make peace with someone. Maybe we need to make amends here. Or maybe someone wants to make amends with you and you're like, no. They need to do this or they need to do that or I'm still upset. No. It's like, okay, you have a right to do this as long as you want. But do you want to be right or happy? Again, are we suffering enough? Because we're choosing this. We choose it because we like that state, it's comfortable for us, even though, no, I don't like it. I don't want to sit here. It's like, okay, well, then you choose 2 swords. You can't have both. Either you want happiness and be liberated and be free from the inside and see people as unruly and it doesn't impact me, but they're still going to be they're still going to be unruly. You can't change them. You will never change them. They won't all of a sudden come correctly. No. There's nothing you could do or say that's going to make them come correctly. And if they do, it's all for a ham sandwich. It's not sustaining. So are we trying to change external? Or are we trying to work with our energy? We can only work with our energy. We have to overcome this thing. This thing is hella blocked and it's creating all sorts of ways of you reacting and engaging. You could be judging this person, snapping at this person. You could be doing anything with this person. Again, it comes very pointed. Maybe we're just guarded and blocked. Maybe we have boundaries and we're saying, I just don't want to deal with that person. They are this and they are that. Remember, it's their fault, not mine. Really? They are this. They are narcissists. They did this and they did that. No, they didn't. Did they act in unruly ways? Sure. But it had nothing to do with you. And how you respond right now has everything to do with you. And right now, I think you're reacting to this like it had everything to do with you, how it impacted you. It's like, yes, I'm sure it impacted you and it had a thing with you. But what we need to do is work with our own energy so that we can't get rocked, so that we can't be in this energy of projecting judgments that this person bad and what they're doing is actually not aligned. It's not aligned. It's not. Who are you to say what's aligned and what's not aligned? All we know is divine. Divine knows. And when I'm in my essence, in my light, I can't get rocked. I can't get pulled. I can't get swayed. And I see other people as hurt, and that's fine. And I have acceptance, and that's fine. That's it. Okay? There's too much of this energy here that is not really conducive to you healing. And so the choice is yours. Okay, your thoughts are creating your suffering. And your thoughts, again, you can't control them. We can't say, no, don't think that. The more you resist it, the more those thoughts come. It's not about controlling thought. What it is about undoing beliefs, because the beliefs are going to drive those thoughts. And so some thoughts are going to have strong pulls and other thoughts are going to be insignificant. Like, look at that ant. Nah, insignificant. I won't even think twice. But then there's some thoughts that come through. It's like, how could they do that? How dare them? Yeah. And they did that because of that. And then, yeah, we start to believe it. And it's like very strong because of our belief that other people could cause harm. And so all these thoughts of they did me dirty and then they said that and they probably did that because of that. And now all these little thoughts keep coming and we're feeding it and feeding it. The more you feed those thoughts that are ego, by the way, because those thoughts are going to keep coming, we're going to believe them, and then our feelings are going to intensify, the feeling of needing to be defensive or guarded or protective. And so your feelings are really driven by your thoughts, and your thoughts are driven by your beliefs. And so if we have beliefs in scarcity and lack and judgment, we're just strengthening them over and over and over like neurons. There's nothing new here. We're not breaking free. And that's why at first it takes a lot of work to break those neurons, break that belief. It is not true. So the thought comes, it's like, thank you, thought. You keep trying to pull me in that direction. You're not winning over my thought. You're not winning me over. Yes, you come. I'm not resisting you. I see you. I don't believe you. Thank you. Shake hands with it. It goes on its way. Okay? The more we feed those thoughts and start to give it conviction and throw wood on that fire, we start to believe it and we start to create all sorts of suffering. The suffering is not real. There's just peace and happiness in your essence. You choose. Okay? There's no good. There's no bad. There's just people engaged in the world, manifesting and unmanifesting. There's nothing to anchor to. There's just connecting to your essence and your light. Then you find peace and harmony. And then you're not swayed. Then you're not easily controlled or needs to be guarded or defensive because nobody can do anything. All right, beautiful angel, let go of anger, resentments. There's a need for some sort of a reconciliation or peace, or let bygones be bygones, or some sort of closure. Now, if you want to do it, that's up to you. But this is what Spirit is asking about, integrating the shadowy part of you that you might want to be holding on to, because I need to be right, or they need to come correctly, or make amends of this. They're the ones who screwed it up. They need to, they. It's their fault, not me. I'm in the right. All I did was accurate. And maybe in the clown world here, in the 3D and the Matrix, maybe you are right socially. Who cares about right? There is no right. There is just, are you peaceful and happy? And if you want to be right, then you're not suffering enough. You got to suffer enough to want only peace. When you only want peace, you will find peace. And this is the way to do it. Because peace has to be your top devotion, your top thing that you want. That's what you want, peace. Okay, trust me. You don't want this other thing. Okay? Beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.